Jaden, you're going to take your certificate right here. He's like, there's so much.
And I'm live here at the Grifton Shad Festival.
All right.
I'll be on TikTok in just a minute.
Okay, you are.
So just bear with me.
Okay. And I do like, yes, it's so nice. It's the bulldog colors. All right, Jaden, you're going to have to scooch closer. I promise you. There you go. There you go. I like it. Okay. Group 5. Group 5.
There he comes.
All right. The judges will give you your medals. Yeah, you're good. You're good. This Grace's okay. She'll get a teacher book. All right, perfect. Thank you. 6. Group 6. All right.
Y'all bear with me over here on Facebook. I'm trying to get the TikTok up and running.
I know it's been a long day. We've been here.
You can hear the background going on here.
All right.
Be with you in just a second.
That was it. Now, did I miss any? K2. All right. Yep. See, I knew I skipped a number. I wasn't sure what it was. What number was it, Ava? 7. And see, I am now in a habit of skipping. I don't count like 6 and then say that. So that's why I probably skipped it, because I know better. But still not K2 old. It's not K2 old, let me tell you. I know, don't.
Okay, I'm live on TikTok and Facebook for Beagle Book Club. I'm here at
Okay, if
Grifton,
you were in the middle 3-5
with the Grifton Shad Festival.
Now,
and I'll be telling a story here shortly.
See, the judges have scored.
The librarian is finishing up her thing here. We're about to give some rewards to the contestants. So just bear with me here. First time ever doing a live remote.
Because the Shad Festival is just amazing, will be getting a medal and a gift certificate. But in first place was Camilla in 3-5. Second place, and Keziah, you were in 3rd. And let me tell you, to get up and to tell a story that you wrote on your own with no teacher help, you did it on your own. You are rock stars. So you all 3, please come up and get your medals and take your pictures.
I have them over here. Oh, okay.
I think I'm live. So it just told me that it didn't hear any sound. So it's because I wasn't talking there. TikTok. It happens sometimes.
All right, good job. All right. Okay. If you were in the 6-8 group, come on up.
All right, I'll be back in just a minute, I guess. We're still giving out awards, so I'll just keep talking to you, and we'll go from there. There's nobody here, so I'm thinking this isn't
All
working.
right. They are all going to receive a gift certificate to come shop in the book fair. They also are going to get a medal. Middle schoolers are not going to put it on another middle schooler. I was like, what happened here? Why are we
Hey,
not
John
putting it
Mayer.
on? But then I realized middle school.
Barry, how you doing? We're here at the
Okay,
Shad Festival. They're giving
so
out the awards right now for
Miss
the
Howard
kids, and then I'm going to tell a
came
little story.
in first place. Jaya, did you hear that? And let me tell you, Jaya
So we got a first
has
place winner
been
now.
coming to Fishy Tales since
I'm here at Fishy Tales, Grifton, North Carolina,
forever,
at the Shad
and she has
Festival.
got up here by her
Wait my turn. I'm going to tell them a little story.
Told it, and she's
While we're
great at
waiting,
it. And so we're super proud of her. And
let's
she's
take a
been
look at the
telling
little
me
fan.
since
I may have to
October
use this because
she was
I'm
writing
hot.
Fishy Tales. So she's been working on it. Second place is
So we're about
Charlotte.
we're about 6 minutes into the live stream.
Story, I think, right? Okay.
Got some Beagle Book Club stickers.
Miss Crap, Aubrey, good job. All
A little
right,
bigger
ladies, I am
Beagle
super
Book
proud
Club
of you
sticker.
because you have a
And then I
very
got these
large
real
middle
cool ones
school
here that
hallway,
ones I got
and
on
the
my
three of
phone.
you represented very well. So super proud. Keep going. Keep writing those stories. Keep sharing those stories.
So we're still rolling.
Fabulous.
We're going to
Good
get into the
job.
story here in just a
And I
minute.
also will call you down tomorrow. All right.
You good?
I'm good.
You want to be on? You want to be famous?
Oh, I am already famous. I work at Grifton School. But I was. Okay, you want to talk?
Did you say Did I say something? Yes. Okay.
Well, I just want to, as the president of the Shad Festival, wanted to thank Sophia. Please stand up. She approached me last year and she wanted to get the kids involved. She said, Miss Tyler, can we do a junior Shad committee? And so, this is a group of kids.
You hear that, folks? The kids are doing a junior Shad
Um,
committee.
And
Isn't
when
that great?
I'm old, I'm gonna have somebody here help
Eat most
me.
shad, by the
Just
way.
like the crowd that's doing it now, I don't have a whole lot of people my age doing this stuff. So if you want to be involved,
I got to get my
come
script
see
up
Miss
so I can tell the
Sophia
story like I got some
and
sense.
Alan and Sherry and Danielle. I really am proud of you guys, and we thank you for having a drive to want to be something bigger.
My internet's connection is very unstable.
Y'all are old.
There we are. We're back.
Thank you all for being here.
I've got a very unstable
I hope
connection.
you enjoyed the story Mr. Todd is going to share with you guys tonight, okay? Thanks.
Well, I'm going to try and share a story tonight. I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties. Grifton doesn't seem to like my internet. So, oh, where are you going? You getting ready to be famous? Oh, no, 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 no. You don't get to just run away. No. Look, ladies and gentlemen, who I've got here right now is Tyra Sparrow, the president of the Grifton Shad Festival.
Hello.
Tell them what you want them to know about the Shad Festival while I get my script pulled up.
Shad
We're offline.
Oh, we're offline. Well.
Give it a minute.
Tell them about writing books while you're at it since you're offline.
I don't think we're offline on Facebook. I think we're just off. There we go. We're back on TikTok. We're back. All right, Tara, go ahead.
Yeah, so the Grifton Shad Festival has been running for over 50 years. It is one of the longest running festivals in North Carolina. And we like to make sure that we embrace the phenomenon that we see every spring, which is where the shad run up into the tributaries of the rivers.
You're gone again.
I understand. I'm going to keep on talking to my people over here. Where the shad run up into the tributaries of you know, like the Noose River, the Pamlico, Tar River, and they spawn every year. And so it's a time where you see all the people around. They flock to come shad fishing because that's something they used to do with their granddaddies and their daddies and their mamas. And so Miss Janet and a group of other people, and who else was involved in starting it up? Um, that yet the Bosleys, and even Mr. Tommy, who still is. he was the youngin involved, but you know, it was a time that families all come together, and it was for a common cause where we like to shad fish. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm thankful for the group of people who decided to make sure that this town was put on the map every year during shad season. And I hope our 54th is going to be the best one ever.
54th.
Yes.
How
54th.
in the world can the Shad Festival be 54 years old when I remember coming here as a child and I'm only 35? How is that even possible?
Because you're telling a fishy tale.
Because I'm telling a fishy tale. That's right. Tyra, thanks for having me.
Thank you. We thank you, Todd.
All right, so folks, I was telling you a few minutes ago, we may be live or we may not. I'm recording anyway, so if we're not live, the recording will survive. I was telling you earlier about Beagle Book Club. There is a whole city over there where the Contentnia Creek and the Noose River come together. It's called Cedar Hollow. How many of you ever heard of Cedar Hollow? 2 people heard of it? Wow, that's pretty impressive. Uh-oh, puppy took a tumble. So Cedar Hollow is a place that you can only get to if you've been there before or if you're invited. It is a magical place that was created when time began. And it's a place, has your dog ever just disappeared for a couple of days? He went to Cedar Hollow and learned a little something. So in Cedar Hollow, these are the different beagles that live there on the board in front of me. So when I'm talking, I'll be talking about these little beagles here. So I'm glad you made it this evening. And I'm going to tell you a story from a Beagle Book Club book that is not published yet. This is a new book. I've just written it. As a matter of fact, I wrote it for the Shad Festival.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
So, and it was inspired by true events. Everything I write about is usually inspired by true events. And this was inspired by a local news story. How many people saw the Artemis mission where the astronauts went out and circled the moon? Who saw that? Who thought that was cool? Yeah. Well, the Beagles that go to school over at Cedar Hollow Academy, the Cedar Hollow Special Ops Academy, they saw it too, and they got intrigued by it. So they went to the moon themselves. So I'm going to tell you a story tonight. I guess it's afternoon, it's not night, about imagination and how to use your imagination. So welcome to Beagle Book Club, where the fire's always warm, tails are wagging, and there's always one more story to tell. Pull up a seat, settle in close, because this is one that you're not going to want to miss here on this quiet evening down deep in Cedar Hollow. Because on this night, some young pups decided they wanted to go to the moon. If you ever find yourself out in Cedar Hollow, right about the time the sun slips behind the pine trees and the air starts to turn just cool enough that you want to reach for a jacket, you might hear something. Not hounds running, not hounds barking, not trucks driving down a dirt road. Something softer, something younger. Laughter. And you would think that would be children laughing, but it's not. It's the young pups at the Canine Special Ops Academy. And by thinking it was kids, you'd be missing the most important part. Because out there in Cedar Hollow, when the pups play, they don't just play, they become something more. See, this story is not about going hunting. It's not about the pups running around in the woods. It's about a mission. One evening, Andy, this is Andy right here. He's the star. Mandy, his twin sister, Princess and Chaos, and of course their cousin, little Molly, decided they weren't going to run in the woods tonight. They weren't going to go find their rabbit to play with. No, sir. They were going somewhere no hound had ever been before. They were going to the moon. And TikTok just told me that I'm restricted because I'm using original content and I'm the author. So TikTok figured that out. I'm the writer. I wrote it. They didn't have any training in how to build a spaceship. They built one anyway. They didn't have anything you expect except imagination. And in Cedar Hollow, that's more than enough. Guess what? Imagination's more than enough here at Grifton Elementary School, too. Andy was the first one to speak up. He said every mission needs a commander. And he had seen his dad, Major Rusty, 100 times stand proud and tall. Major Rusty is a military veteran. But just like that, Andy was in charge. He started telling people what to do. Andy's good at that. Mandy slipped forward next. Red bandana tied just right around her head. This time she wasn't just pointing at the sky. She had a job. She had a mission in mind, a very serious one. I'll be the medical officer, she said. I'll take care of everybody. Now, Mandy's always planned on being a nurse one day. Anybody thought about being a doctor or nurse or paramedic or? Well, that's what little Mandy wants to do. Maybe when she graduates from the K-9 Academy, she'll be a nurse. But she wanted to make sure nobody got left behind, especially little Molly. You know, little Molly's a small little dog. She's tiny. While the others were building the rocket ships and arguing about who was in charge, she was just standing there watching, her little tail wagging, but she didn't really know where she fit in on this mission. Mandy noticed. She always noticed. She went over to Molly. Come on, Molly, she said softly. You're part of this mission too. And right there, on the ground, beside the old shed, behind the barn, way back on the farm, where the grass grows a little bit taller and the dirt's always soft, Mandy helped Molly build her very first spacesuit. It wasn't perfect. The cardboard was a little big. The tape didn't quite hold right. And her helmet kept sliding down over her eyes. But she was there. Mandy fixed it, adjusted it, smiled at her, and there she said, now you're ready. And just like that, Molly stood a little taller. Now that brings us to the Wonder Twins in Chaos. We got a princess here tonight. I see two. So Princess and Chaos are twins. Princess is real prissy. She won't go out unless her hair is perfect. Her ears have got to be slicked back just right, and her nails have to be painted. She is a prima donna. Chaos is exactly the opposite. He gets into everything. He trips over his own feet and will bark at his own reflection in the mirror for 5 minutes. So they're a piece of work. They're twins. Now, Princess wasn't going to go to the moon looking all a mess. Oh no, she took her time. She wrapped herself up just right. She made sure every piece of her spacesuit looked perfect. And because if you're going to be the first hound on the moon, you better look the part. And then there was Chaos, Princess's twin brother. Chaos didn't build his suit. He attacked it. Cardboard crooked, tape everywhere, helmet sliding sideways over one eye. But I'll tell you this, out of all of them, he believed it the most. Now behind the old shed, back there behind the barn where the grass grows a little taller, stood the greatest spaceship in Cedar Hollow. When you leave the building, if you walk out, you might be able to see it across the trees towards Tick Bite. A cardboard rocket. They had painted it all themselves, crooked letters and all, Ops 1. Ops stands for obedience, purpose, and service. Even in play, they remembered what they had been taught. And sitting just beside that rocket was a little lantern. Now that little electric lantern, flickering in the evening air, to most folks it was just a lantern. But to those pups with their imagination, it was going to be the fuel that took their spaceship to the moon. And then it was a countdown time. Their fire was lit. The lantern was turned on. It would carry them to the stars. Positions, Andy called out. Mandy climbed in first. Princess followed carefully not to wrinkle her spacesuit, and Chaos dove in like it was taking off already. Mandy looked them all over just like a real medical officer would do and said, "Everybody good?" A chorus of excited barks rang out as they answered her. They all took one last look at the sky, and just for a second, they believed it themselves. 3, the woods got real quiet. 2, even the wind seemed to hold its breath. 1, launch. And just like that, they were gone. Well, not really. But if you'd have been standing there, you'd have seen 5 pups in a cardboard box laughing like they were bumping into each other. But what really happened was because in their minds, they were using their imagination. They broke through the trees. They flew past the clouds, past the stars, and landed somewhere they had never been before. The moon. And I'll tell you something. Most folks forget as they get older. Imagination. Imagination's not just pretending. It's practice. Practice for believing things you can't see yet. Practice for courage. Practice for leadership and dreaming bigger than the world around you. What's this? Cell phone? You kids, there's never been a time in your life there wasn't a cell phone. When I was a kid, this was imagination. It didn't exist. Cardboard box did, and you could talk on that. And out there in Cedar Hollow, those young cadets weren't just playing astronaut. They were learning how to lead, how to care for one another, how to work together, and how to believe. Because one day, they'd be tested for real. Storms will come in your life. Things will matter, and decisions will be heavy. And when that day comes, these pups will remember the night that Mandy helped Molly stand tall, and they built a rocket ship out of cardboard, lit by a lantern, and flew to the moon. Now, if you're ever out there and you see paw prints in the dirt, and you hear laughter where there shouldn't be any, don't question it. Just smile and remember, it's just the pups over at Cedar Hollow, and anything is possible. And that's the story of the night how Andy, Mandy, Princess Chaos, and little Molly built a rocket out of cardboard and flew all the way to the moon. Maybe they never left Cedar Hollow, but I'll tell you something. That don't mean they didn't go somewhere. Because sometimes the greatest journeys you'll ever take don't require a map, just a little imagination and the courage to believe. So tonight, wherever you are, I hope you remember to dream a little bigger, laugh a little louder, and never forget what it felt like to believe that you touch the stars. Until next time, the fire will be waiting, the woods will be listening, and the pups will be ready for their next venture. That's it. There's a part 2 if you want to hear it.
Well, they came back.
Huh?
They came back.
They got to get back from the moon. There is a part 2 if you want to hear it. I see a bunch of people left, but if you want